What I'm doing right now is I'll be putting out a solo album soon.
Everybody put their all into the Chronic album because we seen that not only was this going to build a record company that we were on, because this was the first album off the record company we were on. This will build all of our careers.
And we vibing straight whatever Dre wants. It's Dre, whatever you want. You want this concept, Dre, you want this, It's all about Dre, it's all about Compton and Dre. Boom.
You had Snoop Dogg, who just brought a whole nother style to rap music.
He has a voice where he can rap over beats and just rip a beat to pieces.
And then a lot of that shit was on the spot, spontaneous, right there.
We just putting the weed together like this, breaking it down, putting it in a zig bag. Once we twist that shit up and blaze it, if it's the Chronic, we're gonna keep it. If it's, unroll that motherfucker and throw it out and come with some new shit.
First of all, you had so many hungry, starving individuals that, wanted to be superstars who put their talent together, and it came out to be a classic.
The camaraderie in them early days over there, man, all them cats used to show up to the studio.
They were poor as hell, but they still were a family. They still had fun.
So it wasn't like we had money to hang with our friends or anything like that, so we just hung together. And we created a masterpiece.
What was it, Chronic? Check it out.
I think it was a lot of collaboration on the Chronic album, as far as names like Daz, Corrupt, Snoop, Warren G, DOC, RBX, and myself, Rage, Jewel.
We were all starving. All starving. Dre included. We'd be up there eating Popeye's chicken 5 days a week.
I gotta go roll up a joint.
We had weed, the best weed, That's why we made the Chronic, because we had the Chronic.
I mean, sometimes we just was in there, drinking or elevating our minds to another level. Dre would be like working with the beats at the time, and he'll come up with something, and depending on who was in the studio at that particular time.
It was people waiting all over the world for their album, for Dre's album to drop.
The Chronic was finished. We had originally thought we were going to be able to distribute the record with Sony.
This would have been the first time in history that young guys would have actually had the opportunity to have a distribution deal, what they call a P&D deal, through a major and get all of the money.
Sony refused to distribute the Chronic.
Sony, because of their fearfulness of some of the crazy things going on around death row and their wariness of the contractual status of Dr. Dre, didn't want to get that deal done.
Because of Eazy-E's persistence, he had been wronged and he had been robbed for his artists. Sony chose not to be a part of the lawsuits.
Part of their fears in dealing with rap bands is that some of these gangster rappers might turn out to be real gangsters. Indeed, many of them are. There's any number of these guys go to jail every year. I mean, it's like first thing that, they go platinum, then go to jail.
Dick and I then negotiated a deal with BMG to put out the record. They heard the lyrics and they said, we're not gonna put the record out. Everybody got afraid of putting out any kind of rap records with explicit lyrics that talked about killing cops and stuff.
It wasn't nobody out there with us. I mean, it was a time when we were shopping the deal. We had an album done.
John McClane Jr. came along. When he heard the record, he went crazy. He said, Griff, you gotta give me this. You gotta give me this record.
John said, I love the record. Why don't you let me take it to Interscope?